This is the new Vampire Fixed EDC from Jack Wolf Knives, and it is a beautiful little pocket carry fixed blade knife based on the Vampire Jack, a very popular drop point coffin handled, I'd say spear point coffin handled slip joint that Jack Wolf Knives has had a couple of versions of. But this one is something different. So we've seen two fixed blade knives now from Jack Wolf Knives, and I really like the first one, the Midnight, but this one takes the cake for me. It is positively beautiful and really, really easy to carry. This one has rosewood handle scales. Absolutely beautiful. Rosewood is very commonly seen on the fretboards of fine guitars, and it's known for its durability and also its beauty. And here you can see it is quite beautiful. Every piece is different, of course, and I lucked out with a really gorgeous grain pattern on mine. So what is this knife? This is a 3 1/4 inch spear point blade with beautiful hand rubbed satin, nice swedge up here, and a giant sharpening notch. This is S90V blade steel, and of course then we have the coffin shaped handle with the I'm sorry, the Coke bottle shaped handle with these protrusions here. Now this comes traditionally from pocket knives where they have the spring pin in this extended portion here, so that a larger blade can fit in inside the handle and be accommodated without sitting too proud of the handle here or without striking the pin inside. So there's a utilitarian purpose to that handle shape, as well as it's just ergonomically a dream here. And I gotta say, it looks cool, very cool. These fixed blade knives from Jack Wolf Knives are interesting because what they're doing, what Ben Belkin is doing, is taking, here is from the first run of Vampire Jacks. He's taking them, and so I'm sorry, this is a 3 inch blade. I said 3 1/4, sorry. He's taking the knife and shrinking it down, shrinking the open profile of it down, because this obviously is a folder and you need a handle long enough to accommodate the 3 inch blade, so the handle is naturally going to be longer. And so to make it a carryable pocket package, he's keeping the blade the same length but shortening the handle by about 3/4 of an inch, if not an inch. Let's see. Let's be exact, shall we? So we have a nearly, I said exact, we have a nearly 7 inch blade here. So this is like 6 7/8. And then here, it's like 6. So almost a full inch, like about 7/8 of an inch removed from this, and that's taken out of the handle so that it sits in the pocket comfortably without sticking out too much or poking you in the hip, because this is meant to be pocket carried. I carry mine in the back pocket, or I've been carrying this one loosely in the front pocket. Now the other fixed blade, I carried a lot in my back pocket, even though I'll tell you why I stopped doing that in a minute. But so this has a shorter handle, but then you have this beautiful braided fob here with a nice anodized titanium bead in the center. This reminds me of what you'll see on a Chris Reeve knife, Chris Reeve Knives knife. Nicely chamfered on the back, really comfortable and really easy to carry, light as hell, and very pocketable. Here's the beautiful black full grain leather sheath with the white stitching. I'm just such a sucker for white stitching on any kind of leather. I love the contrast, but on this really nice, durable, sumptuous but durable black leather, it just looks gorgeous. And there you have your Jack Wolf logo. And sewn in on the back side, you have this DCC type clip. It's not a DCC clip, but it's the same concept. You've got the backward facing lobe that stops it from coming off, and a very stout spring here, so it will ride on in your front waist, in your front pocket, I'm sorry, real easily, and then you can tug out the blade without losing the sheath. And you have about this much sticking out of your pocket. I have found in the past 3 days since I've had this that I really like dropping it in the pocket. It's a small enough package here. Here it is next to my EDC today. So I had my locking blade here, and then I had this right next to it in the pocket. And when I sit down and everything, I didn't feel it. Yet I could still pull it out of the sheath, carefully of course, and have the sheath remain in the pocket. I found a way to actually kind of get this to catch on the inside seam of my pocket, and I could kind of work this out with my thumb without even removing the sheath, which is not the smartest technique because you still have to put it back in the sheath when you're done, so you still have to reach in, pull this out. But I've just been finding that I really like this, and I just like this dropped in the pocket. But if you're someone who likes to clip your knives to your front pocket, this is really going to do great. I'm just smitten with this wood, and I'm very happy that, in my conversations with Ben on this show, he talked a lot initially about not using natural materials. And it took a couple of years, and then he started using wood first, and then he's had bone on one of his knives, the second release of the Big Bro Jack, and I have that one. The concern is these are manufactured overseas, and the climate differences and then travel. He was concerned that natural materials would shrink or swell or change with different humidity, different humidities from different locations. But I guess he just sort of realized, whether he manufactures it there or anywhere else in the world, it's good. Conditions are going to be different, and so he went for it, and I'm glad he did, because these kind of knives deserve natural materials. I'm a sucker for natural materials. I know some people do not like them on knives. So if you don't, you can buy this with carbon fiber and different man-made materials for handle scales. But this is just perfect. Perfect little knife, perfect little fixed blade knife. And you know what? I was thinking this would be a knife that this is the kind of knife that I could see my grandpa carrying around, or my grandmother for that reason, though she didn't carry around, neither of them carried around knives, but they're like classy enough for my grandmother's, and they're small enough to drop in the pocket for my grandfather's. May they all rest in peace. But something about this knife, and it could have something to do with the wood, but I just thought, this is the kind of fixed blade I could see Grandpa carrying around. One was an artist, and one was a lawyer, and this would fit in the pocket of either one of those guys. One worked with his hands all the time. One was putting crooks away, and that kind of thing. So I could see either one carrying these. Really beautiful. Okay, let me show this. First of all, I'll show it. I always like to show the artwork, the cool boxes. Usually the slip joints and the folders come in tins, but this one is in a sort of DVD style box. So you've got always have the super cool art. Here you have the Jack Wolf killing the vampire, or really getting the upper hand on the vampire here, because it's Jack Wolf, And if you notice, the vampire has some pretty wolf-like feet, but and then on the back, you can pause and read that. That's really cool. He talks about his grandfather here. Jack Wolf Belkin was my grandfather, and this is a very interesting read, so check that out. Got your castle. If you guys are old enough to, a lot of my audience is a little bit more mature and probably remember going to the DVD stores. Everything fits really nicely in here. But this is sort of evocative of that, and this is a magnetic closure. And now let me show you the knife, compare this knife with, well, I guess I already showed you that, and here's the other one, an absolutely astoundingly beautiful slip joint version, or the original, you know, which is the slip joint version of the Vampire Jack, but this one with that napped, that's not the word I'm looking for, jigged titanium handle. This is just so ridiculous. So that's a comparison there. You can see the size difference. Same blade shape, or same blade shape and size, but a more pocketable handle. And then the fob just keeps it securely in hand because this is a 3-finger grip. So it gives you something else that's flexible to extend the handle. And then here it is with the other, other fixed blade knife that they did, that he did. This is from the Midnight. This is the Midnight Fixed EDC. And, all right, is this the Midnight or the After Hours? Sorry, guys, a lot of knife names to remember. So I'm just going to go with, I believe this is the Midnight Fix EDC. And this is a leather fob I put on there. This one did not ship with one, and I think that this was a good, really good move to add that. It just adds value. It also makes it so that, you know, the consumer doesn't have to put one on, and he just did a great job with that. It's a beautiful little thing here. Titanium bead. So this is a leather cordage I put on there, which I also really like, and it adds to the grip of this. And if you don't want it, you don't need it. You know, if you can live with a 3-finger knife, well, there you go. So just a beautiful, beautiful knife here. This one with a stone wash finish and gorgeous tight weave double black linen micarta with bronze screws. So there you go. This is new for April of 2025, the Vampire Fixed EDC. Fix EDC. Check it out. This will be coming on the 18th of April if you're watching this as it drops. So actually, if you're watching this as it drops, this is available today. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.